What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, but this ain't the Philly Tall podcast. We are back. It's been a long time, and it feels like this offseason has been a long time, but training camp is around the corner, really around the corner. We got Go Talk, my co-host, LB. How you feel today?
Man, I can't complain. Training camp. That's all that's on my mind. We're going to see what some of these birds made of. And, let's get to it.
Yeah, again, like I said, this was a pretty darn crazy good, in my opinion, off season as it pertains to the draft, the signings, just securing our legit players for not just 2024, but for the future. But the biggest thing and the only thing on my mind is how are we going to respond from last year, because I hate to talk about it, but it's still in the back of my head until I see what these guys do. I love the way it's setting up for us, but if I had to ask you right now, I always ask somebody this. Say, I got good news and bad news. Tell me the bad news first, right? So my question to you is, if there was one thing that is a concern on your mind going into training camp that you're really going to keep your eye on, whether it's player personnel, anything, what is in your head for concern for the
one concern
season?
The number one concern that I just can't seem to shake is the pass rush. For some reason, losing Hassan Reddick was just a really, really big blow. I'm a huge Hassan Reddick fan. All of us are as Eagles fans, but are these guys ready to replace Hassan Reddick? And a lot rides on the shoulders of Nolan Smith. And it's not just the edge rushes either. You lost Fletcher Cox too. So like defensive line in general is, a big concern for me, because I'm one of those guys that has a thought process of, I think you need to add somebody. If you had to add one more piece to one position group, it would have to be defensive line for me. A guy that can rush and a guy that can, rush the outside. It doesn't matter. You need an interior guy and an outside guy. So the pass rush is one thing that's really, sticking out to me right now as a concern. What about you?
Yeah, I would say the same, but I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to combine that with the linebacker play. I feel like there's guys out there that are tradable where they're at on their squad that could do both, like a Matt Judon or something along the lines where you get a guy who can rush the passer and play back. Because I know Fangio Josh Sweat changed his number to 19. I don't think he did it because he likes 19. I think they're also going to utilize him as a linebacker too. Fangio does that kind of thing. So I'm curious to see who's dropping back, how much. I want to see where the linebackers fit into the blitz. I know Devin White, coming from Tampa, could blitz really, really well. If I had to look at Jeremiah Trotter as a rookie, not saying he's going to get much PT, but I love the way he blitzed at Clemson. Some people say he might not be the biggest and strongest to take on running backs, go through the gaps, but he can blitz. So we'll see where he comes into play there too with the pass rushers. But guys like Julio Kawara, who we got from the Lions right after the season, people don't talk about him because it was an early acquisition. They want to put Zach Bond in as the inside linebacker. We heard Fangio say that, but when he was first brought in, he was like a semi-pass rusher too. So I'm interested to see who's all going to be rushing the passer, how it all unfolds. Big plans for Nolan and Bryce Huff, but you're right. Hassan was a guy who had 27.5 sacks. Fletch led that D tackle room in snaps. That's all missing from this 2024 Eagles. And the reason I wanted to get concerned out the way, because there's a lot of bright things to talk about through the rest of this stream as it pertains to the Eagles, but I feel like there's a narrative out there. I don't do it often, but when I turn on ESPN or First Things First once in a while, or I go through Twitter and you hear Nick Wright and this weird fake Colin Hurd guy talking and all that, like everybody's talking about the Eagles taking a step back. You can't really take a step back from a collapse like last year. So by you saying the Eagles are going to take a step back, like, are we really going to be worse than last year? Now, I know we finished overall with a good record, but like there's people talking about we might miss the play. Like, it's a narrative out there that makes me think that the rest of the world thinks the Eagles are going into the season as underdogs. Like, we're not a true contender. And so that's why I wanted to get the concerns out. What is your general consensus on the word underdog and how the narratives, Jalen Hurts, is he a one-year wonder? Saquon Barkley, the Giants really didn't want him. He's kind of washed. And then we talk about you lost Kelsey, you lost Hassan, you lost Fletch. Do you see the Eagles, is your concern big enough for you to not put the word contender next to the Eagles name?
Absolutely not, man. When you look at the guys that's on the roster, you still got to look at the body of the work and where they've been and the things that they've accomplished as pros in the game. AJ Brown is a top 3 wide receiver in the National Football League at this point. Jalen Hurts, although the year was kind of plagued and riddled with, turnovers, he still had a career year in total yards and in total touchdowns. You know what I mean? When these people are talking about step back, maybe they're talking about not starting 10-1 for 3 straight seasons. You know what I mean? That's fair because there is some things that has to change or some slow starts that, just are inevitable when you got a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator coming into the fold. So, yeah, if you don't think we're going to start 10-1, that's obviously fair to say. But the Jalen Hurts slander and things of that nature it's all a combination of guys who, A, didn't really believe in Jalen Hurts in the first place, or B, guys that are using this slander to uplift other certain quarterbacks. Now, y'all know how I feel about other quarterbacks. You know what I mean? So I don't want to talk about, I don't even want to talk about that guy, but a lot of people are slandering Jalen Hurts to uplift the name of the quarterbacks. And I just don't think that that's fair. Because when you talk about Jalen Hurts, the number one thing right now on the platform that Shady's on, Speak with Emmanuel Acho, me and him had a small little back and forth on Twitter like 48 hours ago, is that Jalen Hurts didn't help his team win in the playoffs when we had the Super Bowl run. It couldn't be more true.
"Quote unquote carried," right?
It makes no sense. So against the New York Giants, Jalen Hurts accounted for 3 touchdowns in the first half of that game. 2 passing, 1 rushing. It was 28-0 at halftime. We praised Jalen Hurts for things like that in his MVP campaign. We're coming in second for MVP. We praised him for getting teams out of the way by halftime. So just because he's able to replicate that in the playoffs against a team that just won in the playoffs, these guys just beat the 3 seed in the Vikings the week before. Jalen Hurts made light work of them. So you know what I mean? What do you mean carry? Complementary football is complementary football. It takes your quarterback and your defense to be on the same page for blowouts to happen 9 times out of 10. So, with that being said, it's just naysayers, man. It's naysayers. The Saquon Barkley thing, I mean, come on, man. It's one of the biggest sports markets are just upset that they no longer have their best player. So, these guys are saying almost anything. It doesn't make sense. Saquon Barkley's in the class of running back at CMC.
Same
generational talent. You just heard Lane Johnson say this. This is a generational talent so we're talking about. So no, the Philadelphia Eagles are undoubtedly, in my opinion, going to win the division. Now, if you want to say the Philadelphia Eagles are taking a step back, well, who's going to take that step forward then in the NFC East? Who? Is it going to be the Dallas Cowboys? Let's talk about this. They just lost Dan Quinn, who's responsible for, having a defense and molding a defense that leads the league in turnovers the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about? That's no longer in Dallas. That will be different over there. Teams will be able to score on the Dallas Cowboys defense this upcoming season. So it's just people who just didn't believe in us from the jump. We always got to prove people wrong. So they'll be eating their words.
And exactly. And listen, the underdog term goes a long way with us since 2017-18 season. And it's always going to come with some doubt being an Eagle fan / a player. They're always going to look at you a little different. But at the end of the day, I totally agree. If they want to put context behind their taking a step back and say we won't start 10-1, I'm cool with that. But for them to really think that the Eagles have a problem because we keep switching coordinators. Yeah, there was a problem last year. But for all the new coordinator talk, I still think new is new. So you do have to take some time to gel. But that is also what OTAs are. That is also why guys like Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown are like, give me the playbook, right? Maybe other teams don't got to study their playbook in that month of off season where they can be going to, Jalen Hurts going into Philadelphia concerts and all that, taking a little bit of time to enjoy his off season. But a guy like Jalen Hurts has the playbook. He's not only looking at it in OTAs, he's been looking at it over these last 30 days, and he's going to continue to look at it and critique it in training camp. And so, yeah, they might start a little slow, but I'd rather start slow with a strong finish than what we've been doing. And when you believe in the offensive and defensive coordinators to be guys that not only have had successful groups in the NFL, but also hasn't really seen his talent. Like, shout out to Miami, but I still think when you go player for player now, our defense, player for player, has more talent. Now, got it all gel, and our offense, player for player, is more talented than what the Chargers and the Cowboys had. Now, maybe that one time when they had Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and left tackle and Terrence Smith and whatever, Tyron Smith, cool, but still, mano y mano, offensive defense. Fangio's coming in with one of his better units, and so is Kellen Moore. And so I believe in that and the players. And we're not that far removed from a Super Bowl run. And the core is still there, except for, again, Kelsey and Fletcher will be missed, but they're also going to be around. How much is Aaron Donald hanging out in LA? Like, I don't want to speak on him like that, but Fletcher's already been at one training camp. Kelsey's been in the building multiple times. And so their play is going to be missed, but their spirit is still going to be there. Like, when other Hall of Famers leave their franchise, they might not come back for a year or two before they say, hey, can I come up in the facility? Man, Kelsey's living in Philly. So I still believe in the culture that was built. Some of it left, but it's still in the locker room, and that's important to me.
Yeah, and then you still got guys that's hungry. You know what I mean? AJ Brown don't got to go to rookie OTA, rookie training camp. AJ Brown is there. So a lot of organizations, so when training camp starts for the Dallas Cowboys, it'll be a lot of the rookies' first time seeing guys like Micah Parsons. It'll be a lot of those guys' first time. CeeDee Lamb. These guys have not been a part of team activity. You know what I mean? For the most part, that's the culture over there. I'm just using them as an example. But AJ Brown has already met Aeneas Smith. You know what I mean? These guys have Quinyon Mitchell and AJ Brown are already going back and forth. So we're already creating we're creating competitive atmosphere. At the same time, the guys who are the guys to look up to are making themselves seen and visible. Johnny Wilson is working out with Jalen Hurts already. He's the last guy we drafted. You know what I mean? So the hunger is there. And the hunger for more is there. We know we represent. We know what it is to be Philadelphia Eagles. We know what it is to represent the city. And I think that's the biggest thing that people are, forgetting. But, there are some guys, although their spirit is still in the building, they're not a part of the team. And we got to account for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Is Cam Jurgens ready? That was like my second biggest concern. My second biggest concern was, can Cam Jurgens really give you at least 50% of what Kelsey gave you? That's a big deciding factor. You know what I mean? Nobody can beat Kelsey. If you give me 50% of Kelsey is a Pro Bowler. You know what I'm saying? That's how good Kelsey is. So can Cam Jurgens give you that? And I absolutely believe he can. And shout out to my mom. I just seen her in the chat. I have no idea what my mom is doing here. But shout out to my mom.
Shout out to Mama LB. But look, I totally agree with you, right? Like, they could be in the locker room being the biggest cheerleaders and keeping spirits high, but they're not on the field. And what they do on the gridiron is big. Again, Fletch probably didn't have the same type season as Kelsey, but he still, right before leaving the team, led the team in snaps. So he was needed for sure. I look at this roster and I just say, I have the same kind of vibe of the 2022 offseason. And you know what stuck in my head when you talked about Jalen Hurts on the field with Aeneas Smith in California and Johnny Wilson is, remember when they said that Britton Covey didn't say it. That's why he went out on Britton Covey don't be on Twitter. Right. So Britton Covey is quote tweeting something that you said is because he's clearing it up because he ain't say it. But remember when they tried to say that Britton Covey said that Jalen Hurts is unapproachable? Well, I mean, he got the 6th round and 5th round wide receiver draft picks approaching him on his alone time. You know what I mean? Right. So again, narratives that were trying to be thrown out and that leadership, blah, 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 blah. It's just been destroyed and blown out of the water because the proof is in the pudding. See, Jalen Hurts don't got to come out and say, I am a good leader. He just says, believe what you want to believe, and he just goes about his business. He is on his alone time with a 5th and 6th round wide receiver helping him out. It's just
and that's what makes him different, and that's also a testament to Howie Roseman, man. I sound like a broken record, but shout out to Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman got the people that's paid. You know what I mean? The people that make a difference are paid for the Philadelphia Eagles, so they have no stress. They have no worries. If you're waiting on a contract from the Philadelphia Eagles and you think that it's your time to get it, you might as well count your days if you ain't got it by now. Because Howie Roseman paid when he's supposed to pay. Hassan Reddick was waiting on that contract. He's not going to be in a building disgruntled. I'll tell you that. We're going to have to move him. We're going to have to move him and do what we want to do. It's not going to be no waiting game of having somebody of a difference maker caliber sitting around and be disgruntled in the building. Everybody's happy. Everybody's paid, from the Gardner Johnsons to the A.J. Browns, the Smitties, the offensive line. Everything is good. We're even talking about extending Milton Williams. You know what I mean? That makes a difference when you give people, when you show people that you appreciate what they've done for the organization and you pay these guys early, like Howie Roseman has. It gives them the opportunity to mentor some of the younger draft picks. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm going to be here. I'm a vet. I got my bag. Let me show you how to get your bag. You know what I mean? Like it's all a mind game, but it's a business at the end of the day. And I think we got the perfect balance of that in Philadelphia. We understand that you got to be a player, you got to be a coach, and you got to understand the business, man. And guys perform better when the business side of this thing is handled.
Hey, to quote one of the players who struggled last year, not on Philadelphia, but with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one of his things he mentioned on why he felt he struggled is because he felt like he wasn't just playing football. He felt like he was a football player / lawyer / agent. He was too worried about the contract part of the business. And like you said, Howie gets in front of that. Let Devin White do what he needs to do. And who knows if we don't come in the middle of the season with an extension. And you said it best. Everybody who were most of the players that we are counting on to be Pro Bowlers or to be leaders or to be crucial in the success of this team are on the team past 2026.
Right.
Everybody is 3 years or more. Lane still got about that. Then you go down to the new people and the ones we extended and everybody. So you're right. Again, nobody, there's no looking over your shoulder. Oh, this guy got paid. It's just you've seen the training camp workouts, right? Like they having fun. And that's the thing that we miss most. Like the smiles on the sideline, just having fun, because it's the NFL. But they'll tell you football's a kid's game, and you still want to play it with that feeling. And that's how AJ likes to play, Devontae, and the whole offense, all the skill positions. So I'm very excited, and sky's the limit. Now, I know you were talking about the coordinator. So where are you at with the coordinators? Who, just via the coordinator, right, from what you heard and know about them or believe in, who do you think is the stronger coordinator out of these two? Fangio,
that's that's so tough because Kellen Moore got a good track record. You know what I mean? Cowboy, I mean, it ain't the best, it ain't crazy in the playoffs or whatever it is, but Cowboys fans would like us to believe that Kellen Moore is chopped liver. But he wasn't chopped liver when he was out here with #1 offenses for the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I mean? Kellen Moore can get your offense going. See, what you got to understand is that Dallas Cowboys fans and content creators find anybody to blame when they don't win in the playoffs, but they boast about 12-5 records. Kellen Moore got a couple of them under his belt. I think, don't Kellen Moore got a #1 seed as the offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken?
I would think so.
I think he do, but Kellen Moore is responsible for Dak getting his first big contract. He was his offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? Simplified the offense and did a lot of good things over there. Now it kind of was rocky over there in LA for Kellen Moore, but at the same time, Fangio got a whole system named after him. So I'm a little optimistic for both guys. I'm a little more upbeat. I think that both guys will bring something new and different, and we'll see success on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball. But I got to give it to Fangio. If it's a guy that I say is kind of leading in that department for me, I think Vic Fangio brings a certain level of toughness that we was missing last year. We wasn't even tackling good last year. The reason why I can't get a Darius Slay interview, because I said he was scared to tackle. Yeah, I know that's what it is. You know what I mean? I can't, Mike, I can't get Slay to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? I even sent some shirts. You know what I mean? I was at the tailgate. I had some of his kind wives, the banana pudding. I can't even get a shirt.
But you only said that because he came on the podcast and said, I led the team.
What podcast?
Remember,
on your joint?
No. I remember because Slay has this.
Bro.
After the Niners game, we got
bro.
Again, it was the wrong time to talk about your tackling in the Niners game because we got destroyed.
Then, like the next week, he said, Saquon a big boy. I ain't trying to lose no teeth. I'm trying to go home. I'm trying to go home, be able to talk to my kids. Like, I get all of that. I get it. But the team's identity, and it's not Slay's fault. The team's identity was solved for the defensive side of the ball. You had a rookie Sidney Brown saying we don't practice hard enough. The year before that, what was our defensive tackle, man? The beast that went to the Super Bowl with us. Hargrave said we don't practice hard enough.
You know what I mean? It's a lot harder over here.
Right. You feel me? Because you know what I mean? So I think Fangio going to bring a certain level of toughness. He bringing a guy. Zach Bond is he tough? I looked at the film. Zach Bond plays tough and physical. You know what I mean? He's not taking it easy on nobody. He's demanding guys to at least be where you're supposed to be and do your job and rally to the ball and things of that nature. I think that the fundamentals was missing on the defensive side of the ball. And I think Fangio was going to instill fundamentals right away. The offense might start a little slow in the first quarter against the Packers, then they'll get going. but I think the defense right away, you're going to see a difference. So I'm going to give it to Fangio.
Yeah, see, I think if I'm saying who am I more like, I like both of them.
Right.
I think I'm going to say that Fangio to me is going to be more the safer because I feel like he's been doing this for so long, 30 years, coach, right? Like he's seen it all. Yeah, he'll get beat sometimes. Sometimes we'll have good coverage in our plays. We'll get beat, blah, blah, blah. It happens. I think I feel real safe with him. But like the high risk, high reward, either all offense is going to be real. The play calling is going to be so good or so bad. There's no in between for Kellen Moore. He's either going to do really, really good or he's going to fall flat on his face.
That scares me, bro.
But there's no in between because of the playmakers you got, right? The dynamic of the run game with a dual threat quarterback and the two best combination wide receivers we've seen. Now, you could say Waddle and Hill had more yards. They were the only duo to have more yards, but they didn't have more touchdowns, right? Blah, blah, blah. That being said, the route runner and the bully, like there's no better combination. Two wide receiver ones. The O-line is like Kellen Moore set up beautiful. And when we talk about his mistakes and with the Chargers, every skill position player was injured at least once. Eckler missed games. Who's the slot guy over there?
Palmer? Is it Palmer?
No, Keenan Allen.
Oh,
Keenan,
okay.
he goes all around. Allen missed games. Mike Williams, their O-line. Even Herbert missed games. So
right.
he was dealing with a lot. It is what it is. I just think that, again, now when I say he's either going to fall on his face or be really good, I'm leaning toward a really good. He has the mindset to motion. Like, imagine defenses trying to run with Smitty left and right. Like, use Smitty the same way you want to use Keenan Allen. Use Smitty the same way you want to use CeeDee Lamb, right? CeeDee Lamb is twitchy, but he's not more twitchy. He's not a better route runner than Smitty. Let Smitty move around. The dude got energy for days after eating McDonald's. Like, the dude eats McDonald's before games, and he's still out there balling. That being said, again, I can't even pick who's going to have the bigger year just because I think AJ's been showing who he is the last 2 seasons with the Eagles. Every year getting better. 1,500 yards last year. But I just feel like Smitty's going to be a nightmare moving around. The Energizer bunny back there. And I think Kellen's going to just draw a lot of things up for him. I mean, not saying AJ won't motion too. I just still feel like Smitty's going to be heavily used in he's going to be the most motion person on the Eagles offense. Everybody will move. Goddard will move too. Same with AJ, but Smitty going to have fun. I
think so too. I think the path to being really, really good on the offensive side of the ball, though, is running this offense through Saquon Barkley. You know, because you can move him around too. You can split him out wide as well. So, like, I just don't want Kellen Moore to like start just keep it as simple as you can, but at the same time, use the personnel that you have. You don't want it's no need to come out there and say, I'm gonna throw the ball 50 times. You got Saquon Barkley. If you're throwing the ball 50 times with Saquon Barkley, 10 need to be screens. You know what I'm saying? It's just no need to put the ball in danger. It's no need to get pass happy. It's no need to try to run the score up. We not the Dallas Cowboys. Kellen Moore got to understand that we're here to do a job. We're here to get a win. We're here to look good winning, and we're here to be out. We're here to lead the building healthy. So I think, you know, running the ball heavily in the beginning of the season with Saquon Barkley, you paid him, you got to use him. Running the ball with Saquon Barkley in the beginning of the season, putting Jalen Hurts under center, incorporating play action is going to be equally as a nightmare for a lot of teams because there's no tape on how to defend the Eagles when Jalen is under center because we ain't never did it.
14
you know what I mean?
Last year, and over 1,000 snaps. He was under center 14 times, which was dead last.
That's ridiculous, man. And that's going to change with Kellen Moore. And, you know, pre-snap motion is a big thing, just like you mentioned. You're moving guys around and stuff like that. So defenses are going to be extremely just confused with what Kellen Moore is going to give them as far as looks are concerned, based upon what he was doing the last 2 years. So, yeah, man, I think both guys got a chance to, you know, be some of the best coaches in the NFL with the personnel they got.
Yeah, again, personnel is important. But when we look at sports in general, NBA, NHL, MLB, and the NFL, coaching is still the most important in the NFL. Because in the NBA, you got LeBron James, you need a bucket. Go ahead, LeBron, ISO, do what you got to do. Jordan, go do what you got to do. Steph, come off the screen and hit a 3. That's it, right? But in the NFL, you need all 11 guys to follow your play. Your play got to be good. You need all 11 guys to do exactly what you coach,
right,
to the T, just to get a beautiful, executed play. Because listen, yeah, there's bad teams in the NFL, but they all get paid millions, and they're all still the 1%, right? But I can't wait to see Smitty on a linebacker, on a box safety. It's just
I got Smitty having 200-yard games this year. I got him having 2 due to Kellen Moore.
Washington, because he always eats against Washington.
Yeah, I got him having 2. Like Bobby Wagner's a dog, but Bobby Wagner guarding Smitty is a mismatch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It just Smitty on there's no linebacker in the National Football League that could guard Devontae Smith.
None.
Kellen Moore gotta exploit these mismatches. They're all over the place. There's a lot of linebackers that can't guard Dallas Goedert. The mismatches are there, and Kellen Moore has the mindset. The Dallas fans used to call him the boy wonder. They used to call him a boy genius.
He
when he first took that job. You know what I mean? And I think the IQ is there for him, but now I think he got the quarterback that can get him to a championship game.
Or at least win a playoff game, right?
Yeah.
Anthony C with the $10 super chat. We appreciate the love and support. What up, fellas? This team is all in, and we're going to silence the media. Again, you see the title, Philadelphia Eagles underdogs again. Lots of young talent on defense, and they got to step up. Vic, we'll get them ready. Also, LB mixtape needs to bump inside the link. It does.
Hey, I appreciate you.
It's fire right there. For sure. We got one more from Eagles Uncut 2.0. $5 super chat. Nick gotta go.
Hey, bro, right to it. He getting right to it.
That was a concern. That's his biggest concern. Nick gotta go. I'm tired of keep looking for new coordinators every year or two and hope we hit because Nick can't call plays. Your thoughts? Well, that wouldn't affect the defensive side of the ball. But the one thing that I'm really hopeful with Kellen Moore is this. He went from Dallas to LA without getting a upgrade in position. He went from OC in Dallas to OC in LA to OC in Philly. Normally, if you're doing it like the things he put on tape in Dallas should have got him a head coaching position. Now, there was little bumps in the road in LA due to injuries, but I feel like, again, one thing Jeff Lurie, we credit Howie. Jeff Lurie is not afraid to spend money. And so if things go right and he wants to still put more offensive coordinator genius with this Eagles roster on film before he gets a legit head coaching job where he can get a deal for whoever he signs to next 5 years, I can see Kellen Moore staying for 2, maybe 3 years to really, because that's where our core is. Our core is here for like 3 solid years, say the least. So I can really see Kellen Moore staying here, building something super special. So when he does leave Philly for a head coaching job, it's a team ready to give him a 7-year deal. You know what I mean? Like we're not gonna play with you. You just took Philly to back-to-back somethings. I'm not gonna say and not gonna jinx us or nothing, but I can see Kellen Moore staying for a minute because he's gonna be one of the higher paid OCs. Because Jeff Lurie, that doesn't count with the salary cap, so he gonna do what he got to do. Same way Howie's allowed to cross the T's and dot the I's and put dead years on it, because Jeff Lurie's not afraid to spend the money that don't got to get accounted on the books. And so I can see Kellen being here. But yes, if every year we got to get a new OC because our coach is incapable of at least doing one side of the ball or keeping a group together, then yeah, something has to be done. But somehow, some way, John Harbaugh's been doing it. He don't call either side of the ball. He became a head coach from special teams. He don't call offense or defense, but he's able to keep his coordinators. So that's all I care about. And I think keeping the coordinators has to do with the next guy getting a head coaching job. If no one's going to give up a head coaching job, but also the right situation and the pay. So I think if anybody can keep Kellen Moore here, I think it's us for a nice 2 to 3 year run. What you say about that? I know you were
I think so too.
Go guy.
Yeah, but I think bringing in Kellen Moore and Fangio made Nick safe. You know what I mean? It made Nick safe. Yeah. It definitely made him safe for now, because the blame will go to the coordinators. That's just the nature of the beast. The blame will go to the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator if one of those sides of the ball are just bad. You know what I mean? So Nick Sirianni's safe. He's able to dodge the blame. If Kellen Moore succeeds and go somewhere and get a head coaching job like you just alluded to, then Nick Sirianni just got to hire somebody else new. Because if Kellen Moore succeeds, Nick Sirianni succeeded. if Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore succeed, Nick Sirianni succeeded.
Yeah.
He'll always be at the podium talking about this and that and things of that nature. But yeah, I just don't believe in having a head coach that can't take over one side of the ball. I think Harbaugh is a great example of a guy who doesn't have to do it, but it's something that he provides there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That team is always good on the defensive side of the ball. You know what I mean? And he in some way, shape, form, or fashion is a guy that believed in Lamar Jackson and got him 2 MVPs. You know, it's kind of different. So yeah, I'm a Nick Sirianni got to go guy for sure. Because like, what is he doing? what is he doing? He ain't calling the defense or the offense, but you know, it is what it is.
I hear you. And again, this year is going to teach us a lot of not just how good we are for 2024, but how good or things got to change for the future, because this team is set up to win. And again, I don't care as much as 25, 26, 27 right now, because we're only in 2024. But this is the now and the future setup under Howie Roseman, and Nick Sirianni got to either get back on the squad or we're going to have to find other ways to go around it. Because
this is the thing, though. If we're bad, one of the sides of the ball going to be good. I'm telling you, like we don't meet expectations. One side of the ball is going to be the strong side of the ball, and I think that's who will take Nick Sirianni's job. You know what I mean? If we're bad, or if we have some type of disappointing stretch and the season ends bad for us, Nick could go and Kellen Moore could get that job rather sooner than later as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. So it all shake. I think Fangio just trying to ride his time out. He older. He from the area. Yeah. He ain't looking to be no head coach probably. But you got to watch out for Kellen Moore if you Nick.
A lot of people say that on my comments that Kellen Moore is going to be that coach sooner or later.
I think he is, man. I think that's how it's going to shape out.
Yeah, and I look at it like this. And once again, if the offense is bad, then again, we would have to figure out, is it Kellen Moore's system just failing, or is Nick Sirianni again butting heads with the coordinator where he is still the problem? So that all still got to be straightened out for us, because as much as we blame Brian Johnson, like how much of it was him, how much of it was him under Nick, you know what I mean? So we still don't know that dynamic, because one thing I will say, when Shane Steichen was here and we were successful, Shane Steichen was calling the plays, but the weekly weekly practices and game planning was done between both of them. So Nick Sirianni was like, okay, all right, on this, we want to stretch the fields during this look and blah, blah. So he's a part of the game plan. He just wasn't calling the plays. But then when Brian Johnson got here, how much was Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni? Like, I don't know the dynamic. I think with Shane and Nick had a lot of respect for Shane because he was working with him in LA with the Chargers. Right. And he knows offense, to where, okay, me and LB, we're talking about this. You like this, I like this. But then you're like, oh, wait, you know what, Mike? I like the way you said that. I want to do that too, right? But now I'm not doing it with you. You're working with somebody else, and I don't really trust that point. I'm going to stick with my. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Right. It's more so. I see what you're saying. It's more so like Shane Steichen and Nick already had a relationship, so they trust each other a little more. Brian Johnson, incoherently inherited the job because he knows Jalen Hurts, and we just all assumed that was a good fit. So Nick Sirianni probably didn't trust a lot of the things that Brian Johnson was trying to do. So we'll see the answer to that this season, because Kellen Moore don't really run a lot of the same style that Nick Sirianni does. So if we start seeing a lot of these plays out of the RPO formation, shotgun, and not too much under center, then we know Nick Sirianni got too much of his hands in a pot. If this offense should look 90% different, bro. It should look 90% different. According. Right. It should look 95% different. You know what I mean? I'm looking to see looks I've never seen before. That's what this season should come to, an offensive side of the ball. If we see things, it was getting to the point to where we know, this is a QB keeper. We knew it was coming. You know what I mean?
Everybody.
We knew. You know
Monday
what I mean?
Night announcers. Christian McCaffrey's on the McCaffrey's on the ESPN one with the Manning brothers. Like, look, not only did he know it, he actually knew. Like, we knew it was coming, but he even knew what exactly Gar was going to pull and everything. He knew
it just was like, bro, like, we can't be that predictable. But everybody knew our plays, but everybody couldn't understand why we didn't use common sense in the playoffs against the Tampa Bay Bucks and abandon the run while you're missing AJ Brown. So, man, that's just bad coaching right there. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I don't trust Nick Sirianni. I ain't gonna hold you.
The one reason why I believe Nick Sirianni will trust Kellen is because one, he was a part of the Kellen hire, supposedly. That's what they reported. Maybe it was just Howie and Laurie, who knows. But that being said, is once you failed that bad, once you had an offense that was bad, that now the OC got fired, if it continues to be bad, it's on Nick, So I think Nick is going to trust Kellen's more because he's seen successful offenses under him. So I again, who's to blame? A lot of people say Brian Johnson, Nick Sirianni, don't matter because that dynamic is done. And we're going to see the Kellen Moore offense for sure. Flipping the birds, member for 31 months, he said by the end of the regular season, Philly will be a top 3 offense, top 2 defense, putting the defense one step higher. Hurts MVP talk once again, everywhere, everyone, and we chilling with a first round bye going into the playoffs, division champs, and 14 wins.
I like it.
How many wins do you got us having though? 13, 14, right?
I had us nothing less than 12.
No.
You know what I mean? I had us nothing less than 12 for sure. Our schedule is not that hard to me, if you want to be honest.
The only thing I don't like is the bye at 5. That's the only thing. Everything else I like.
You know what? I ain't mad at the bye at 5. Because if it's me, I plan on running Saquon Barkley rampant like the first 3 games. I'm not gonna lie to you. So he's probably gonna need a breather bot in. Yeah, he gonna need a breather bot in. This is like a Saquon revenge thing for me, man.
He gonna have 145 carries by week 5.
Yeah, I think that's what the plan got to be. I think everybody gonna eat, but I'm not mad at the schedule at all. I'm glad to buy early.
We don't play anybody off their bye, which is good. So we don't get nobody's gonna look at us for 2 weeks straight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do like what Flipping the Bird said. Again, he got the offense at 3, defense 1 step higher. But I like us coming out of the NFC East for sure. And again, think about it. When we went to when we won the Super Bowl in 2017 and when we went to the Super Bowl in 2022, we had that first round bye. The Eagles do well off that first round bye. Not saying you get it, it's automatic Super Bowl, but we like to replicate things like that. So
yeah, we want the first round bye. I mean, we don't want to put ourselves in a position to lose to the 7th seed in the first round. You know what I mean? We don't want to play. We don't want to play with no 7 seeds.
Yeah, and again, that's new. It's only been like. Well, this is the 3rd year with the 7th seed, and they already got a dub in the NFL.
They already got a George W. It ain't gonna be us.
Hey, Trey Brown with the $2 super chat. Appreciate the love. Nick Sirianni is the Eagles' biggest question, which we kind of elaborated on it. But yeah, I'll give it to you. I was really upset with Nick, but I did mention word fired, right? Like off just
I did mention word fired.
I don't think any Eagle fan didn't at least say it once. Even if you're okay with Nick and want to see what the thing, it was a big bet. Like every game, 5 out of 6 losses and then get beat by Baker like that. Like, I don't think any Eagle fan just said, "Oh, it's okay, Nick." No, we were all pissed. But as the hunt, when we signed Kellen Moore is when I said, I think it could work with Nick. That's when I said it. But I understand any Eagle fan that says, what if Kellen gets another job and we got to go get another OC and another OC? That can't be the recipe. If that's the recipe, then no matter how I feel about Nick, he got to go because every OC is a little bit different. So you might get another good one in here, but we can't be changing the recipe every single year. You know
we can't. I mean? Kellen Moore has to be the OC at least 2 years. At least 2 years. He got to be the OC. If you don't win it all this year with Kellen Moore, you got to run it back. You got to keep some continuity in this system, man. You got to pay him a bag. You got to pay him the check. You got to run it back.
I'm with you. Look, we got our guy in here. Underdog.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully he's still in here because it's been a minute.
Oh, he just said something else. He said,
according to y'all, right? Like Jalen's a running back. Saquon is a 27-year-old running back who blah, 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 blah. Like, come on. I see it. I don't really be commenting on it because I'm waiting to closer to the season. But according to the national media, I mean, you had the fake Colin Cowherd said, like, the words take a step back, as LB explained it. If that's what they're trying to say, we're not going to start 10-1. I'm cool on that. Right. I agree. Why, but to say a step back from last year means last year we didn't win a playoff game. Step back from the entire season of last year is what? Not make the playoffs to me? Like, so I think it's just too much. Jalen Hurts only had one good. Like, this is too much. Like, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, they're still there. Jalen Hurts is thrown to them. Like, we're going to be fine. Again, I do think there's some other. I think, again, We're not in the AFC. We're in the NFC. Guys that come
It's
up
wide
on
open.
top of it, it's Eagles, Niners, Lions. I'll put the Cowboys there. And I think the Rams are going to be better this year. I think the Rams might make some noise. We'll see what else. But I still think like I'm not, as much as I put them teams in there, any given Sunday, if we're playing our brand of football, 2022 style or something like that, we could beat any of them teams. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think that it's wide open. I think the NFC is wide open. It's for anybody to come out there and take, but you can't mention big dogs in the NFC without mentioning the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. King DV Sports with a $10 super chat. We appreciate the love and support. What's good, fellas? A big concern for me is the position of the secondary. Bradberry, Maddox at safety, Dejon or Quinyon in the slot. They got a lot of decisions. Rodgers, cornerback 2, though. See, yeah,
Quinyon ain't gonna be in no slot.
The concern is this: like, there's going to be Eagle fans that don't like the people who won the jobs because we're starting to pick favorites now. You got people like Isaiah Rodgers is going to be cornerback 2. You got some people like Quinyon Mitchell is going to be cornerback 2. Some people say, hey, y'all keep forgetting about Keely Ringo, who, as much as Isaiah Rodgers had a great OTA camp, so did Keely Ringo. You know what I mean? So there's going to be Eagle fans who are like, dang, I think he should have made it or he should have made it. That being said,
that position going to be hard, man.
Who we have. It's a good problem.
Yeah.
But if they try to finagle Bradberry in somewhere, whether, like he said, safety, somewhere, like, give me your Bradberry.
Man, they should have just ate the dead cat. They should have just ate the dead cat, bro. They should have just ate the dead cat. Yeah, man. What he here for? We got some what? We got some young studs, man. Young stud. He holding up a spot. You know how hard it's going to be to make these cuts. I thought he was a June 1 cut.
Why?
It's July.
When you first read the statement that they're going to try to play Bradberry at safety, what was your initial thoughts? So you're like, all right, we were just trying to find a spot for him, or like, do you think he could be a safety?
My initial thought was it's too much money to eat. Howie is saying he don't want to eat that money. He's just trying to keep him around some way, some shape, form, or fashion. But Howie don't operate like that. When you could cut Carson Wentz and take on the largest dead cap space in NFL history and then go to the Super Bowl a year later, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Howie operates like that. But yeah, man, I think a portion of Howie Roseman still believe in him, bro. He was an All-Pro the year before. I think a portion of Howie Roseman still. I think the front office still believe in him, bro. And I ain't mad at him for that.
Again, and you said it, and I know people don't like to hear this, and I'm with the thought process of if Bradberry's gone or traded or whatever, I'm cool. I'm not going to complain. But as you said, maybe Howie, maybe even Fangio, who's a veteran guy who has big say. What if Howie said this? What if Howie said, Fangio, you saw Bradberry in 2022. You were here. You were consultant for the offense, but you watched the defense. You saw how Bradberry played. Now, you watching tape on last year, you seen how trash he played. You think you can get him back to playing good? What if Fangio said, heck yeah, he fits my style? What if Fangio says the way I'm going to play off coverage, play a little bit of zone, do this, that, and the third, fits under Brad? Like, I don't know there's something being talked about because everybody was writing it. All the beat writers, even ESPN had headlines. Will James Bradberry be a June 1st cut, blah, blah, blah. If there was a June 1st cut, it ain't even that much. If we cut him before June, it was $10 million dead cap. And $5 million next year or something like that. If you cut him in June 1st, it was 4 now and 6 next year or something like that. That being said, there was reason to believe that we were going to cut him, but there got to be something to believe. But for them to say safety, that's what brings it down. Like, oh, maybe they believe he can be a good corner again. But then why would you move the man to safety if you don't believe he, you know what I mean? So something is, it's a weird,
he fits Fangio's system, man. He fits a zone boundary defender system.
Safety, but why?
No, not at safety. Not at safety at all.
We need our safety to run.
Right. Because if you want Bradberry to play too high safety or the shell defense that Fangio was comfortable with, Bradberry fit that, bro. He fit that because a lot of quarterbacks got to throw the ball over that guy covering the flat at the cornerback position. Bradberry plays that area really, really well. Where Bradberry messes up at is in man-to-man coverage. We tried him at slot a couple of times last year. We had Bradley playing in positions that he shouldn't have been in for real. But, you know, I think Bradley's a much better tackler than what he showed last year. I don't know what that was about, getting ran over all over the place. He got ran over in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, he got that big touchdown was just him missing the tackle.
So I think they believe in him, bro, and I think he want to redeem himself. So I mean, if he stay, I ain't mad at it.
Does LB believe in the comeback?
I believe in Bradberry more than I believe in Sirianni, more than I believe in and more than I believe in Nakobe Dean. I tell you that I believe in Bradberry more than I believe in them two, because I saw Bradberry play good. I seen it like in the Super Bowl run. Bradberry was him. Then Bradberry have a pick 6 last year. He had a couple clutch picks last year. The Super Bowl run year for us. So I believe in Bradberry. You just gotta put him in a position to succeed, bro.
Yeah.
But who do you cut though? Because Bradberry takes up a spot. That's my concern with it.
Could you imagine if we have our first and second round pick? Like if we have our first and second round pick just riding the pine, how we doing that?
You can't do that, bro. Quinyon Mitchell got to get meaningful minutes, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to get Isaiah Rodgers got to get meaningful minutes. I think honestly, I hate to say this, Mike. I think Covey got to go. So I think Covey got to go, bro. I think Covey got to go.
Get the punt returns at least.
Right. So Isaiah Rodgers can get that punt return slot. Therefore, it opens up. You know what I mean? You got to keep as many guys as possible that could do more than one thing.
More than one thing.
You know what I mean? You got to keep because it gives you flexibility with the roster positions and roster spots. So if Isaiah Rodgers moves Covey only could return kicks. What else can Covey do? It ain't like he taking nothing to the house. He just get you a good one every day. I don't care if he was a Pro Bowler, bro. He ain't no Devin Hester. He ain't taking nothing to the house. Isaiah Rodgers is taking shit to the crib 9 times out of 10. You know what I mean? So you got to get at the Isaiah Rodgers, bro. And then with Isaiah Rodgers being a punt returner, you still got him that you can move to cornerback if you ever need to, because he's on the roster. So
I can't wait to see what happens at cornerback. I still think, again, it's football, right? So I don't want our guys riding the pine, but you never know when an injury happens. You need to have a solid backup, right? When you are a team that is mentioned as a contender, well, we believe we're contenders, but people treat us like underdogs. That being said, you can't have your season just be blown up because you lose a starting corner or you lose a starting edge, right? Like you got to be able to say, we lost this for however many games. Hopefully, if you do lose somebody, he's at least going to come back when it's playoff time or something like that.
Right.
But you got to have a guy. And right now, I'm not saying I'll be happy to lose a corner, but like if a corner went down for a game or two, I think whoever's next man up is right capable. Behind them.
Yeah, capable, man. Cooper DeJean could come in and give you some valuable minutes.
I like him in the slot a lot, like for now. But
how do you keep Covey with a guy like Cooper DeJean on the roster as well? Who's a better returner than Covey? You know what I mean? Cooper DeJean could play safety. Cooper DeJean could play 3 different positions. You know what I mean? Cooper DeJean is that Swiss Army knife, kind of like that guy Hamilton over there in Baltimore. So I mean, cornerback is so tough, man. That defensive back room, it's a lot of competition back there. Maddox could play safety and slot.
You think they will cut Maddox?
I think you got to.
He's only making 1.5 mil. Like, listen, remember when we let him go? Yeah, we talked about possibly bringing him back, right? And we let him go because the money wasn't there. But like Maddox had a little interview. I did a video like a month ago. Like Maddox simply said how he was like, "Yo, go get a bag somewhere. Like if you can get if you can get 3, 4, 5 mil somewhere, go ahead and do it. Do what's best for you. If not, we'll have a spot for like $1.5 million. And remember, I can't remember. Did we sign him back before the draft or after the draft?
I think it was. I don't know.
Chat,
I want to say it was before the draft. I think it was before the draft.
Well, we will see. If it was before the draft, maybe you sign him back, cheap insurance, but then maybe you wanted to go in this draft and get a cornerback. But how we did not know 2 corners were going to fall in his lap.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying it was before the draft.
If things could change, he could be like, dang, we brought Maddox back in case emergency. Now, one thing that's going to help Maddox's job is even if he doesn't start, he can back up 2 positions, slot and safety. So that's important. And what has Maddox's downfall been? He hasn't played. He's been injured. But if you're not asking him to play, if you're only asking him to be your insurance policy for 2 positions, that is still a secured job for 1.5 mil. So
who's the guy behind him at the slot position? What's the guy name? I always forget.
Tyler Hall, but also Sean Stevenson is the guy who made the roster as a undrafted rookie free agent.
Yeah. We snatched him right before Pittsburgh won. I think he got more upside. You know what I'm saying? I think he has tremendous upside, actually. So it's tough, bro. It's tough. I think a surprise guy that's going to make the roster, though, is Gabe Hall from the defensive line. I think he's guy. I think he's going to make it.
That's my number one UDFA. I think he's going to make the Hall. He's a monster.
Yeah, I think he's going to make it. Yeah, he's definitely a monster. But you still got what's the guy? A Rockpo. I'm so horrible with names.
Ajomo,
who was also a stud, but didn't really play that much. Marlon T.
Who do you like? Yeah, see, but that's the thing. If you say Marlon T and Ajomo plus the big three and Milton, Jordan, and them, that's 5 right there. I think we could keep 6 though, just because of them being young and maybe the rotation being even more flexible. I would say 5. If we had a veteran on here, I would say 5. But because there's a lot of youth there, maybe they keep 6 D tackles.
I think Marlon T might be out and Gabe Hall makes it and we keep 5. I like Marlon T too. Man.
They were using him. Marlon T he's a big body and he can play behind. Like he's I don't know, man. I like him when Davis ain't there. I like Marlon T on that run defense a little bit.
Right.
But it's tough. I gotta see them put the pads on. Training camp gotta get here.
I gotta get here fast, bro.
Because I was gonna look. This is no poo-pooing on anybody who's shining OTAs, whether we're talking Isaiah Rodgers or Keely Ringo, or who else kind of had Devin White was, getting some PBUs against Saquon Barkley, who's a good running back receiver. They were wearing shorts, right? You can't touch them at all, and you're doing this in shorts. Football's a lot different when the pads are on. So I can't wait to really see, okay, Keely Ringo, Isaiah Rodgers, Devin White look good in OTAs. We still getting that same talk of them over others when the pads are on and it's a little bit more, or when we're in joint competition with the Patriots, where the Patriots trying to keep they're trying to make their own roster, so they're not gonna let somebody on the other team bully them. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see joint practice and training camp for sure.
Where's that joint practice gonna be at? In Philly?
In New England.
Oh, in New England.
Yeah.
Damn, I thought it was gonna be in Philly, but that's not open to the public anyway.
Yes, it's not. No, only the August 30th one where they practice each other with each other.
Yeah,
which is gonna be big. It's gonna be fun for sure.
I'm gonna be there probably.
Yeah, I got tickets already too. I'm bringing the whole fam though. Like my son's into football now. Like he's trying to play and all that. He want to go, so we doing the family because games not a family trip.
Right.
That's a business trip, you know.
Right.
So I'm bringing the whole family to the training camp. So whoever's out there, you're gonna see long hair. Okay, you're gonna see my 4-year-old, my 8-year-old. You know what I mean, and wifey and all that. But it should be a fun time. I'm still going to be paying attention to what's going on the field. They can't be talking.
Right.
I mean, but Knight Rider with the $5 super chat. We all keep something about Mekhi Garner.
Right.
Are we keeping Mekhi Garner? Oh, we are keeping Mekhi Garner, you're saying. So technically we have 4 safeties on the roster. I still want to see Justin Simmons and Midnight Green, by the way. Screw Hacho. See, Mekhi Garner is interesting too. He's listed as a cornerback, but he's been transitioning to safety. I still would put I would still trust Avonte Maddox back there. Again, I don't know if he can stay healthy, but I would trust Avonte Maddox back there as safety. Probably a little over Mekhi Garner, but he's a guy who can play. Again, when you're talking about the last roster spot, making it, you got to prove, like, okay, Eli Ricks, a lot of people like him. But if Mekhi Garner can play safety and corner, and Eli Ricks can only do corner, if Mekhi can play safety, corner, and inside, like, that's where them little things. Oh, plus maybe he's a special teams gunner or something. I'm not sure exactly what he does, but them little things matter when you're talking about roster spot 49 to 53. You know what I mean? Them last
I agree.
Spots, you better be able to do a multitude of things.
You got to, man. You got to be a Swiss Army knife, man. I just can't even wrap my head around who these guys are going to pick for the defensive back room. It's just so much. It's so many guys that can do so many different things. This truly has to play out in training camp, man. Truly has to play out in training camp. It's a lot of pressure on a lot of guys like Eli Ricks. I don't think Keely Ringo was under that much pressure. No. I think the Philadelphia Eagles have to actually play Keely Ringo, which is why I'm kind of apprehensive about the Bradberry thing. I think he's taking away reps from a guy like Keely Ringo, who's a big body receiver, a big body corner, who could go up against guys like AJ and stuff like that. So I don't know, man.
Yeah. See, look, if I'm another organization, and I have a bunch of young DBs, or I don't understand why people ain't calling for Bradberry. Now I know Bradberry was bad in 2023, but as we just said, to go from 2022 All Pro to 2023 All Buns, as you like to say, right? It's crazy. But if I'm I don't know, I don't know what other organization got going on, but there gotta be a team that has some young talent, but could use some veteran leadership for a year or two. Like that's why I think Slay's big. Not only is Slay still good in my eyes, he's still a good corner, but having that guy to mentor the young guys is big. Slay got one spot to me. I think he does. Now, if he loses it, he loses it. And this, I truly believe this is Slay's last year. Like, it's not working out. I don't see a scenario where Slay comes back at all. And I've talked to him, and I've crossed T's out the I's. I mean, Slay loves Philly. I just don't see it working out with what we have on the roster and his cap number next year. We almost already lost him when we restructured him to Baltimore just last year. So it's going to be the youth movement next year, but it's like, I mean,
we got to win the Super Bowl, and he got to be a big part of it. That's the only reason that Howie brooks it out.
But look, I mean, like if things play out the way it does, and Quinion and Cooper and Keeley and Rodgers become who we all think they are, I'm cool with Slay getting a bag somewhere else. Like I'm cool either way. I just don't see the scenario. But to me, my main thing is this: I can't believe nobody's trying to make a move for Bradberry. I know the 2023 tape was bad, but I think he could fit another organization. And I would be willing to give him the benefit of the doubt if we weren't so talented at this position.
Yeah. But I don't think we want to trade him.
You don't think we want to trade him? Or you don't think no one came for Asta?
I don't think honestly, I don't even think we put it out there, to be honest.
We
should for sure, but because Howie is so good at packaging things up and getting something done. It was like I thought he was going to be traded on draft night to move up or something like that. I did. Like the city was collectively disgusted. I'm surprised he's still here. To be honest, man.
Me too.
I'm surprised he's still here, man. But he can't take no snaps away from some of these guys we just drafted. I think it's just unfair, man. I think it's unfair. But at the same time, I'm like 50-50 with the Bradberry thing because he's shown that he could be an all-pro in his league. So, like, hey, if we're going to keep him and give it another go, I ain't going to complain about it.
Carolina, and he was an all-pro the Eagles. So,
yeah. I think he was a Pro Bowler with the Giants.
And so, again, and Bradberry's track record is he has a good season, come down for a little bit, but he eventually get back.
Right. He's a rebounder, so I think we counting on that trend. I think we counting on him to rebound.
Lord. But like I said, I just feel too strong about who's on the roster that's under 30. That's my main thing with Bradberry. And that's why I'm looking. I can't believe there's not a roster out there that could use Bradberry somewhere else.
Right. There is somebody. People are talking about we're going to trade for Udon. I mean,
give him to the Patriots. Hey,
yeah.
You know what I love about this?
What?
Matt Judon is my perfect trade scenario, right? For the simple fact that he can rush the passer, he can drop back. And last year he was banged up a little bit, but in 2021, we talk about Hassan 27 sacks in 2 years. In 2021, 2022, he had 28. You know what I mean?
He was that guy.
And guess where we're going? We're going to New England for joint practice. Howie's going to be on the same field.
Right, and Howie always come back with a gift every joint practice. He always come back with it to go plate. So we're gonna see, man. He come back with it to go plate, man. So we're gonna see.
Yeah, that's why I love it. Matt Judon to me is my perfect thing. Justin Simmons is cool too, but I think Matt Judon offers more at a position of need. Kills two birds, one stone. Eagles uncut though with the $5 super chat. Can't be wasting Jalen's prime like that. We did last year. We have to hit at least 2 Super Bowls with Jalen, but we need the right coaching, and I'm hopeful. Yeah, man.
I agree.
We need to maximize Jalen under this contract. We need to get to them Super Bowls under this contract. Hey, look here. Don't be modest. 17-0. Hey, you said it. You said it.
He's scared.
Shout out to Relic though with the $20 banger, the biggest one of the night. Giants fan. Giants fan. Shout out to LB. Followed him here. Saquon will be the difference for the offense. Unlike the Giants, they cannot stack 8 in the box for Philly. Run the option. Enjoy a top 3 offense. Anyone can run that. Woo!
Yeah, that's how I feel, man. Shout out to you, bro.
Giant fan coming in here, giving it up. The realest talk I ever heard. You know what I mean? He don't gotta like the Eagles, But like he just said, you can't stack the box in Philly like they did in New York. Saquon Barkley's gonna have a smile on his face every time he touches the ball. And Spadera was the one who told me to stat. Like last year, like, yo, this is gonna make Swift and the boys sound a little worse than what we like. We like Swift, right?
Mm-hmm.
But last year, collectively, Swift, Gainwell, and Boston, all the running backs were number 1 in the NFL on yards before contact. That means the O-line we were number 1. They got the ball in their belly and they ran the most yards in the NFL without even being touched once. But the Eagles were 31st, not last, but 31st, second to last in yards after contact. That means when our boys got touched, they ain't go much further. Now, Swift had some good jukes and all that. Saquon Barkley, you get Saquon Barkley in there, most yards before contact, you can't bring him down once he gets ahead of steam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's going to be loving it.
That's why I wanted the Philadelphia Eagles to go get a thumper, bro. Because once you get a thumper with a big head, it's saying, but Saquon I think he could thump, but the Giants don't afford you the opportunity.
Yeah. I think Saquon, like when you look, CMC, shifty back,
right?
Henry the big back. I think when you put it together, it's like Saquon is the best of both worlds. I think he can bang in the middle, but we seen him pull people out his cleats for sure. Saquon has done that.
Stiff arm. Saquon got the total package, so it's gonna be interesting, man. I think I got Saquon being close to 2,000 all-purpose yards, bro.
Did it when he was a rookie.
I got him being close this year.
But he had over, what is it? He had over 15. I don't know what was it. I forgot the number, but he had a lot of touches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we gotta utilize him, but you also got to get the ball to your other playmakers too. Like we got a lot of. This
what I think though. I think we cool with seeing him eat. You see where AJ coming from. AJ cool with it.
Oh yeah, AJ said we gonna make him get his.
Yeah, AJ cool with it
for sure. Flipping the birds with a $2 super chat. Redemption season. I like it. I like it. I mean,
I like it.
After the collapse, we definitely need a word like redemption for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That actually fits the bill 100%. High domination in the building with the $2 super chat. Stay tuned for the raffle. What's up, Mike? What's going on? Hey,
what's going on, Dom?
Going?
Yeah, we about to get the raffle going. We're gonna buy 2 tickets. We're gonna raffle them out for about a month before the season start, and then we're gonna announce the winners on the channel or something like that.
That's what's up. Y'all go tune in for sure.
Opening day tickets or probably the game after that.
That's what's up. He dropped another one, said my first home game. I'm gonna act a fool, y'all. You got to. We're gonna have Kirk Cousins in the building.
Right.
You gotta have fun with him for sure. Yo, that's crazy. How we always play Kirk Cousins on Monday night, week 2. Like they love setting us up with that.
Hey man, we gotta look good. I think honestly, man, before we wrap up, I think a statement got to be made in Brazil though. I think we got to make a statement.
Yeah. Do you know what the media is gonna do? And guys like CFT, if we lose to the Packers, like they're not even gonna put no context. It could be we could lose by a last-second field goal. They're gonna be like, "See, Eagles still suck." Like,
exactly.
We're gonna hear it on every network and on Twitter. CFT, y'all got the Avengers on offense, but y'all underdogs.
We ain't saying we underdogs. That's what everybody else telling us. We know what we got.
I want to make myself clear. The reason the title is just the narrative of Saquon being type washed. Jalen is still not that good, and Kellen Moore's not. Wait. Every Cowboy fan just tells us, wait till you see what you really got. Right. I heard people say people are still trying to run with the narrative. Miami Dolphin fans hate Fangio. Like they hate Fangio in Miami. They hate Kellen Moore in Dallas. We got a 27-year-old washed running back, a non-good quarterback. He only had one good year. He was carried to the playoffs. All that extra stuff. So I'm using the term underdogs through the eyes of the rest of the NFL. We know what we got over here.
We good.
I mean? That's my main thing. But yeah, I can't wait. But real talk though, again, a week 1 loss. It's not fun, but there's still 16 other weeks, 17 other weeks. But the way we lost last year, and the way things are going, like you hear all the murmurs now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we gotta make a statement.
We gotta show they oh man, the play action and the motion they're gonna run, bro.
Be good. They had a good offseason too.
Yeah. They got Josh Jacobs, right?
They got Josh Jacobs over there. 2 new running backs with a new squad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got to show we can fill them gaps and tackle.
Jay, listen, we're getting the freshest Jordan Davis we ever had, right? It's week 1.
Right.
No excuses. You need to shut the rundown. But hey, 1 hour and 4 minutes. Go talk a little training camp talk again. It's hard. We've been building up for the training camp for a while. We got the concerns out early, but although don't let nobody trick you. Every organization has some concerns at this time. This is when you're trying to end stuff out. So don't let people think that we the only ones. But the questions and the things that we do know the answers to are legit. And the core's locked up and we're ready to rock. And it's what, July 23rd is the first day they report, which is in 11 days? What's today? The 12th?
Yep.
Here we go. 11 days before the Eagles take the field, August 30th, the open practice. What you got going on for this week?
I ain't got nothing, man.
For this weekend or anything.
Right. We're going to report on the news as they come. We're going to get ready for training camp, and the season is coming. We're about a little over 50 days away. I remember it was 99, 100. So it's moving fast.
Kinda.
Yeah, kind of.
But with that being said, I go by Philly Mike, LB. Go talk, and I promise y'all, especially with training camp, we gonna get these back to if not every week,
right?
Every 2 weeks. We're gonna
try. All right.
Until next time, y'all know what time it is. We out. Peace.